All right, so hey, we are starting this brand new podcast. My name is Jeff Miles, and with me today is Brian Butler, who is the host of The Retirement Chef, Whipping Up Wealth with Brian Butler. I want to start by telling you that his website, I want you to go check this out, wealthstandardfinancial.com. And Brian, first and foremost, how are you?
I'm doing really good, man. I'm excited to get this show on the road. I've been talking about it to people. They're excited. And, now I have the pressure of delivering all the good information that we want to give to the world.
So when you talk to your friends about the fact that you get this podcast now, are they all excited? Do they say, oh, you're going to be famous now?
Well, they look at me a little crazy. They think I'm going to be famous, or they think I'm crazy for naming it The Retirement Chef Whipping Up Wealth. But once I explain to them how the ingredients of retirement fit in with the ingredients of food and caring for people, it goes hand in hand. I see the light bulbs go off, and they say, I've never seen that before. And that's exactly what I was hoping they said.
It's interesting you say that, because until you and I first met and we talked about the fact that, you love, getting in the kitchen and getting the hands in with everything and all of the different ingredients, we did start to talk a little bit about how, your retirement plan is you've got your main ingredients that you work with probably on a standard basis, right? And then sometimes you have some throw-in ingredients based off of what's available to you.
Yes.
Or it may be, what kind of spice are you looking for? That could translate to how aggressive do you want to be, right?
Oh, it absolutely does. Because not everybody likes the same thing. Not everybody likes spicy food. Some people like their food very simple and safe. Some people are on the edge eating uni and all kinds of puffer fish,
Right.
taking you right to the edge. There's no wrong answer when it comes to that. It's how can you deliver in retirement, the level of risk, the level of speed that people are comfortable with. And then you just adjust the recipe from there, because all the recipes are good, but are they good for that individual? And that's what we try to do from a financial planning standpoint, really customize your retirement recipe, if you can say that, to what you really enjoy and what you're really trying to accomplish. And so the whole goal of retirement is really lifestyle planning. Lifestyle investing are some of the things that we really focus on, because your lifestyle is not only your money. It's who's important to you. What are the things that you're doing? How do you build all of that together? And that's what we try to do from a retirement plan, and just whip that up.
One of the things that we're really excited about with The Retirement Chef, Whipping Up Wealth with Brian Butler, is kind of sharing with you a lot of different angles, a lot of different recipes for you to put in place. And as everyone does in their own household, when it comes to the meals that they eat, you probably have a few go-tos that are pretty much, standard. You do them all the time. Every once in a while, you kind of venture out a little bit. And sometimes you may even try a recipe you've never tried before, but you've heard that it's great. And I think that's where you're going to have a lot of insight for people that are listening.
No, you're absolutely right. There are a lot of things that people know about, the sexy things that you see on TV. You see all the investments. You see Kramer talking about blowing the horns and showing you the different stocks that are available. But financial planning is more than investments. It's the level of risk that you're taking, risk management, estate planning, taxes. Everybody I know hates taxes. But if you don't plan for your taxes, trust me, the government will plan to take that money from you.
You don't want the government to tell you how to do that. I promise you.
They do such a wonderful job, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so you have to take into account all of these different areas into your plan, how it's going to affect your lifestyle, how it's going to affect the lifestyle of the people and organizations you care most about. And figuring out what that right recipe for you is where a financial planner comes in. We really sit down, focus on you and what you're trying to accomplish, because at the end of the day, your lifestyle, your cash flow is our job. Our whole focus is to fund that lifestyle that you want.
A lot of people are probably even curious about the fact of, how am I supposed to spend my money once I retire? Because I know that that's even something that can be, a little daunting at times because, again, it's a lifestyle and you want to uphold that lifestyle that you've had all these working years. And then some people may have this idea, well, I'm not going to be able to live the same way that I did when I was working because I won't have a full paycheck that I had before necessarily. And so that's where Brian's going to step in and really help with those ingredients to kind of put you off to a nice, I would almost call it dessert to what your life is going to be all about. So one of the things I do want to get to know is a little bit more about you, Brian. And let's go back into the recipe of Brian Butler and how you ended up in this amazing world of helping people with their retirement plans.
Well, growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. I grew up in Houston's Third Ward, near the University of Houston and Texas Southern University. Both my parents were really smart, but they weren't college educated. They both went to high school in the neighborhood, grew up during, the 50s and 60s and 70s in America, and we all know what that entails.
Yeah.
And so, what they always instilled in me was a drive and work ethic and the want and desire to help people. And so how can I, growing up, find a job where I could take care of my family, but also help other families? And, growing up, I had subscriptions to Money Magazine and Fortune Magazine. I was that kid, but I also played the cello. I was captain of the basketball team. So I had a lot of things going on. And I had internships, in high school with financial advisors. And so I was really torn between becoming a financial advisor and becoming a doctor. So both help people, both can make really good livings. And so I was checking the boxes. But then I saw how much money and debt you would be in if you went to medical school. And then I saw the quality of life of a lot of doctors. A lot of them end up divorced.
The hours alone, the hours are just atrocious sometimes.
They are brutal. And then I watched the financial advisor who was a seasoned financial advisor, paid his dues. He was gone by 3:00 every day, was at every one of his kids' events growing up, and lived a great lifestyle. And so that kind of checked the box for me, and that started the journey to becoming a financial advisor. So, going away to school, playing sports for a little while in college.
Oh,
and
what'd you
then
play?
I played basketball.
Basketball? Okay.
Yeah, believe it or not, I'm 5'11". So
Where'd you play?
I played at a very small school named Marycrest University in Davenport, Iowa, and then transferred to Drake University for a little while. So, it was a good experience, but when you're 5'11" trying to play basketball, you really realize I'm good, but there are some people that are out there that are amazing. And so I said, finance it is.
This is where you can be amazing at 5'11".
Absolutely.
With a decent jump shot.
Yeah. And it was, you realize it takes a lot of tenacity being my height playing basketball. And you have to just believe in yourself and drive and push forward. And a lot of the guys in the office, the other financial advisors, they say the same mentality I had then, I have now when it comes to taking care of our clients, trying to win and grow our business. Nothing's really going to stop me from being successful for my clients and for my family.
You know what's great about being a former athlete? Because I'm a former athlete also. I played baseball in college and
Nice.
A little small school in Brownwood, Texas, which is called Howard Payne University.
Absolutely. I know Howard Payne.
The thing about athletes is that you're taught that it's kind of like it's the win or go home mentality, or you're only going to get out of what your success is only going to come from how hard you work.
Absolutely.
And that kind of base is what helps people so much who have, been athletes in the past. And especially when it comes to working with other people, they're kind of your teammates at this point, right?
No, absolutely. And you want to see your teammates win. You want to take care of them. If something goes wrong in their lives, how can you be a support to them? And it's the same thing that we do with our clients. Clients go through many of life's transitions, and we try to be that partner through life's transitions. So whether it be retirement, getting married, grandkids, long-term care needs, deaths in the family, divorces, all of those things are highly emotional, highly volatile, and could blow up your financial plan if you don't have proper planning or potentially a proper partner as you go through that. And that's our goal, is to really be that partner as you go through life's transitions.
And you want it to taste very well, which is
Absolutely.
where we get into the whole part of the chef mentality of
Hmm.
different ingredients. So, so first and foremost,
Hmm.
if there was a style of food that you love
Mm.
to prepare the most, I know Houston area kind of stretches over into Louisiana, so
Yeah.
you get a little bit of this Cajun flavor
Yeah.
coming in with the Texas flair. What is it for you?
You know, a lot of my food that I really enjoy, it is the bridge of Texas and Louisiana. So we have some Louisiana roots from my great grandmother, who moved everybody to Houston from Opelousas, Louisiana, and a lot of those influences come over. So I'm a huge fan of Cajun and Creole dishes, the gumbos, the jambalayas, the shrimp creoles. All of those things are wonderful. But on the same side, I will stand outside, wake up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to stand in front of a barbecue pit while I smoke a brisket. So, very much Texas influenced. And so those are some of the things and recipes. Some things like barbecue take a long time, but
Low and
with proper
slow.
planning,
Yeah.
hey, it can be a great dish long term. And then some things that you can do really quickly that have high impact and high flavor. And so it's the same thing with your retirement. There are investments and options out there that can get you where you need to be. Some you have to be patient with, some you can get instant gratification. And a little bit of mix of both. But you're not going to eat brisket every day, even though some people do in Texas.
I would.
But you want a good mix, a good variety. That gives you some good balance.
Absolutely. Once again, this is episode 1 of The
Mhm.
Retirement Chef, Whipping Up Wealth with Brian Butler, and wealthstandardfinancial.com is your website. Want people to come and check out your website because you have a lot of different tools on there for people to check out as far as, hey, where am I right now with
Mhm.
retirement? And listen, I'm about to turn 50. It's like on the radar, high
Yeah.
on the radar. And sometimes you may be thinking, whoa, have I not done enough?
Right.
I wish I had started sooner. And then you're working with people who are absolutely already in that place of, okay, I'm now at the point of trying to
Yeah.
figure out how to stretch this out and
Mhm.
make this work as long as possible. Um, Give me just kind of a standard day of somebody that you've met with recently who,
Mhm.
you can tell when they walk out of the door, they're like, "Whew,
Yeah.
everything's going to be okay."
Oh, absolutely. I have a good one. I have a couple that came in, husband and wife, have a kid that's getting ready to go to college, and the husband has put all kinds of money back into his company stock because he sees it as a potential um, windfall for them. And the
Right.
company just filed their paperwork to do their IPO. It's probably going to happen in August or September. And just based on some of the numbers that are coming through, it's probably going to be life changing for them in a good way. And so
Awesome.
they just were worried about taxes, estate planning for their kids, college, another house that they want to do, possible rental properties. Those are a lot of different things and worries that they all have, but we started with the financial plan. We tried to get them clarity on what they actually wanted if everything went perfectly. And they didn't
Hmm.
know. They sat there for a minute and it said, if everything was going perfectly in your life, what does that look like? And we spent 2 days, two separate meetings, just defining that. So giving them clarity. So then we were able to implement a lot of strategies that could potentially get them there as we prep for that potential windfall, as they go through their financial planning. And now we're in the stage of finishing up some of that implementation, and now we're just optimizing the plan, making sure that it really is what they want. And as we've been going through that, every meeting we have, they end it with, you know what, Brian, we're excited.
I
If
bet.
a financial planner can get somebody to say, "Oh, we're excited, we're liking where this is going," it makes me feel good, and you've done your job. And I just see it on their faces every time they come in. So when that windfall comes, they're ready. And so,
I'll bet their smile gets bigger and bigger every time they come in to see you.
Yeah, and wait till that windfall comes. Once the check is
Yeah,
actually there,
we
I
haven't even
know
hit that part yet. Yeah.
I know they're
So
gonna be super happy.
it's interesting for people who are listening to this podcast and you're checking it out for the first time, and you hear Brian talk about the fact that they didn't know what that perfect life. Most of us really don't. We don't think that far, kind of down the road. What would life be like if every? I almost want to call it utopia.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like how many of us actually go to that place and say, wow, if everything was exactly as we wanted it, what would that look like?
No, absolutely. Because you'll find there's some patterns as people get ready for retirement or, get to that work optional lifestyle. They'll look at what they're putting together for their lives, and most of them will say, hey, I want to do what I want when I want. But then I always stop them and say,
What does
what
that
is
mean,
that?
though?
What do you
Yeah.
want? What do you want to do? And then, you see that look like, I don't know. And
They look to the sky like, I know it's going to come falling into my lap at some point in time, right?
right. And exactly when you spend the time clarifying what that is, especially with couples, because
Because they have different ideas that they probably haven't even discussed yet.
100%. I always love when the husband will say something and the wife looks at him like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Really?
I have never heard that before in my life. And I always think it's funny because it's good to work that out and get on the same page. And when you can see them getting on the same page and seeing what's possible, when you show people what's possible, it's amazing. It's amazing.
This is what I'm loving right now, Brian, is the fact that we're sitting here and we're talking about how people are going to retire and they're going to get to do whatever it is that they want to do
Right.
for the rest of their lives, right?
Right. No,
At the same time, we're not even talking about the money yet.
you're right.
We're not even talking about how the financial plan gets there, which means that it starts from the emotional place
Right.
of where you are and what you want and who you're with. So I love that. That's great stuff.
No, that's the right recipe. And so
Absolutely.
you start with the people in mind. It's just like when I'm cooking for people, the reason why I cook for people is I love to see their faces and the joy and the outcome of the work that I put in. And it's the same thing from a financial planning standpoint. When you're working, crunching the numbers, dealing with the emotions that people are going through when times are good, when times are bad, and you're bringing that to the forefront of how you can help them. And then at the end of it, you see how appreciative they are and how happy they are. Oh, it's the most amazing feeling. And that's why I do it. That's why I love bridging the gap between cooking and, financial planning.
At the end of it all, you want to hear,
Yes.
and then not a whole lot after that because they're eating right now. Hey, listen, this has been an awesome time to spend with you, Brian, as we get this podcast up and running and off the ground. The Retirement Chef, Whipping Up Wealth with Brian Butler. Coming up on the next episode, I'd love to talk to you about some of the recent announcements that have been made about Social Security, because I'm sure that without a doubt, most people, either if you're in retirement now or you're getting close, you see those headlines and you're thinking, okay, what now?
Right. Right.
And so we'll dive into that in episode 2. This is The Retirement Chef, Whipping Up Wealth with Brian O'Butler. WealthStandardFinancial.com. That's your website. I want people to go and check it out right now. And like I said, you've got tons of tools on there that people can work with, and you've got ways for people to get a consultation and get scheduled to come see you as soon as possible.
No, absolutely. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the audience, what questions they have and what questions I can answer, and just, providing a lot of value. And so we have a lot of value on our website, and I just look forward to it. I'm excited.
All right. Well, until next time, I'm Jeff Miles. Brian O'Butler, thank you so much for all the time today, and we'll check you out next time.
All right.